The real reason why you love GTA is pretty simple. It drops you into a world that feels close enough to real life that you understand it right away. But it cuts out a lot of the dead weight that makes real life feel slow and frustrating. You don't need a bunch of lore, you don't need to study some complicated system, and you don't need to force yourself through the first 5 hours just to see why people care. You load in and you get it. That matters more than people realize. A lot of games are good once you learn how to read them, but Rockstar Games make sense almost immediately, and that's a huge reason why they hit such a wide audience. People don't just like GTA because it's popular, they like it because it feels natural to step into, and once they're in, it gives them a version of life that feels way more exciting than the one that they're living. The accessibility is a massive part of why Rockstar is on a different level, because most studios still make games that feel like products first and worlds second. Rockstar does the opposite. They make places that feel believable enough that people settle into them fast, even if they don't play many games. That's why GTA pulls in hardcore players, casual players, old players, people who barely touch a controller, everybody. You don't have to explain the fantasy to people because they already understand it. They know what a city is, they know what a car is, they know what it feels like to want money or freedom or power, and Rockstar builds a world around those instincts in a way that just clicks for pretty much everyone. That's why somebody who's never played Elden Ring or some deep RPG can still sit down with GTA and instantly feel comfortable. But I think the deeper reason people get attached to GTA is because Rockstar gets closer to real life than almost anybody else does. Not in the sense that it's literally realistic all the time, because obviously it's pretty exaggerated, but in the sense that it feels like a place where people are moving around and things are happening whether you're there or not. That's what Rockstar is really good at. They don't just give you tasks to complete, they give you a place that feels like it exists outside of yourself. And that changes everything. A lot of games feel like they're waiting for the player to just show up, but Rockstar games don't. They feel like you stepped into something that was already going on. And I think people are starving for that feeling because it gives them something they don't get much in real life anymore, which is the sense that they're somewhere instead of just passing time. And once you're in that kind of world, the next thing GTA gives you is agency. And that's really the word for it, agency. Real life makes a lot of people feel stuck. They feel boxed in, ignored, broke, weak, invisible, whatever it is. They feel like they have no room to move. But GTA gives them that room back. You can go somewhere, start something, mess something up, or recover from it and keep going. The game keeps giving you motion, and motion is powerful when your actual life feels stalled out. That's why people get so attached to Rockstar protagonists too, because even when those characters are flawed or miserable or extremely violent, they move through the world like they actually matter. They're not passive, they're not just surviving, they're actually doing something. And I think a lot of players are more attracted to that feeling than they even realize. That's also why Rockstar characters stay with people. It's not just because they're cool, it's because they feel like people who have purpose. They feel like they belong in the world that they're in, and they usually want something badly enough that it gives the whole story purpose. Even when they're a mess, they still feel like the center of their own life. A lot of players don't feel that way about themselves. That's part of why these games hit so hard for so many people. When you play as someone like Tommy or Niko or Arthur, they're not just moving through a story. You're stepping into a mindset where your actions feel like they matter and your life feels like it has direction. And that's a pretty powerful thing, especially for people who are drifting in real life and don't even have words for why they feel off. GTA doesn't fix that obviously, but it does let them feel the opposite of that for a while. Rockstar also understands something that a lot of studios still don't, which is that atmosphere matters just as much as mechanics and sometimes a bit more. People remember how these games felt. They remember the mood of Vice City, the grime and dirtiness of Liberty City, the heat and desperation of Los Santos. They remember the quiet moments. They remember the radio stations of each of these games. They remember those random drives and being alone at night listening to the radio. And that stuff matters because it's what gets under your skin. You don't just remember missions, you remember being there. And that's why Rockstar worlds live in people's heads for so long after they stop playing. They don't just feel like maps, they feel like periods of your life. You can go years without touching a Rockstar game and still remember exactly what a certain street felt like or what a certain drive felt like. And that's not normal. That's a studio that understands how people actually connect to places. And once you understand all of that, you start to understand why people are so locked in for GTA 6. It's not just because it's the next big game. It's because people already know Rockstar is probably going to give them another world they can disappear into. And they know it's going to feel familiar right away. They're not just waiting for a new story, they're waiting for a new place to live in for a while. That's why the hype feels so extreme. Most sequels are just more of the thing you liked. But GTA 6 feels bigger than that because people already expect it to take over their headspace for months, if not years. They expect it to become part of their routine, part of their conversations, and part of their imagination. That's not normal from a typical game. That's something else entirely. That's people waiting for a new world to open up. And I really do think GTA 6 is going to push this even further because gaming is already moving towards people treating games like places they exist in, not just things that they beat and move on from. Rockstar is in a perfect position to take advantage of that because they already make the kind of game worlds that people settle into naturally. So when GTA 6 drops, I don't think it's just going to be another huge release. I think for a lot of people, it's going to become a second space they live in. They're going to hang out in there. They're going to make memories with their friends. They're going to totally disappear in that game. Maybe even build a version of themselves that they like more than the one that they feel stuck with in real life. And I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but it's true. A lot of people don't just play Rockstar games. They hide in them. They reset in them, and they kind of just exist in them. GTA 6 is probably going to take that to a whole nother level. That's also why this topic goes deeper than just gaming. Because if the thing you love the most about GTA is the freedom and the movement and the sense that anything can happen, then maybe that says something about what your real life is missing. Maybe the reason Rockstar games hit you so hard is because they give you a feeling that your actual life doesn't give you enough of. Maybe they remind you of what it feels like to have momentum. Maybe they remind you of what it feels like to be bold. Or maybe they remind you of what it feels like to actually want something and move toward it. I think a lot of people love GTA because it gives them a version of themselves they wish they had easier access to. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. I think that's just the truth. Sometimes the games we love say a lot about what we're starving for in real life. So yeah, the real reason you love GTA is not because Rockstar makes fun games. It's because they make worlds that are easy to enter and hard to forget. And inside those worlds, they give people something they're missing, which is a sense of freedom, a sense of movement, and the feeling that their choices matter. That's why people keep coming back. That's why people love GTA. And that's why GTA 6 feels bigger than a normal release, because people aren't just expecting another good game. They're expecting another place that feels real enough to matter to them. That's what Rockstar does better than almost anybody else. But I want to know what you think. What is the real reason GTA hits for you? Because I guarantee for most people, it goes deeper than just it's fun.